Hi, and welcome to Kimberly and Knit for Brains. This week's segment of WIP Wednesday, I'm going to be talking about another project that I'm going to be starting, my work in progress. The mosaic crochet that I've been doing, the Tenna project, is still ongoing. I'm going to alternate weeks. So next week I'll show you the mosaic crochet that I'm working on, the Indiana blanket. And then alternating weeks, I'm going to show you my other project, which I'm really excited about. That is, I'm jumping in and I'm going to do a 2022 temperature Tunisian blanket. I'm very excited. I'm going to be, this year, my goal is to learn and master the Tunisian crochet technique. So I'm real excited about that. And I've always wanted to do a temperature blanket. So I thought, what better way to do than to merge the two together? And being that this is January, it's a great time to start a temperature blanket because you don't have to go so far back. So I've been doing some research, looking at what other people did and didn't do and the mistakes that they made and so forth. I am working with, along with TL Yarn Crafts, Tony from TL Yarn Crafts. She's amazing. I will include her link below. Tony Lipsy is her name. And she just has some really, really great tutorials on Tunisian crochet. She does a lot of tutorials on yarn reviews and things like that. So I started following her, and she does a lot with Tunisian. So she seemed like a really good expert to kind of follow along with. And she's done the Tunisian crochet blanket. She did one in 2019 and in 2020. So I watched a video in the 2019 and I kind of picked up on the mistakes. She said, don't do this, so forth. So I'm excited. I'm doing this now. I live in Southern California, so we don't get the huge range of temperatures. We don't get snow and sleet. We don't drop into the 20s and things like that. So it was a little bit harder for me. And I'm hoping this is going to work because I'm going to change it up a little bit. The Brit, aka the husband, begged me to please not buy any more yarn. Like, whatever. Anyways, I happen to have a lot of these Wool Ease by Lion brand skeins laying around in a lot of different colors. So I am going to make my Tunisian temperature blanket using a variety of these Wool Ease skeins. So what I did was I have easily 3 to 5 skeins of each one of these in each different color. And out of these, I want to get 9 colors for my Tunisian blanket. And I will be able to do this because the yarn is self-striping inside here. Okay, so I think it's actually going to work out pretty well. And even if it starts to blend and marry, I think that's going to be okay. So what I did was I have my supplies. I got these Tunisian hooks with the cables, and then I did some research and I was hearing people say, don't get those, they're a little bit tricky. When I knit, and I do a larger project, I knit with cables like this. So I thought, well, that makes sense. I understand that. But just to be on the safe side, I did order some Tunisian hooks that should be arriving tomorrow, and so I might actually just hold off on those and use the Tunisian hooks, because I know when you're doing cables like this, the yarn can get kind of twisted, and the stitches can be big, and especially in the beginning, it's real hard to kind of get a really good rhythm and a pattern going, so I might hold off on that just a little bit. So I basically, Tony had a pattern on her website via the blog, and it was a free pattern, so I took it and kind of copied it over to my own Word doc. She used a weight of 3 in hers, which is fine because that's what this Wool Ease is. And here in Southern California, it never gets that hot, or that cold rather, that you would need to be using like a really heavy. We don't live in Iceland or Finland or somewhere really cold, so I didn't want a wool, but I wanted something that was a little bit lighter. And this Wool Ease is 20% wool, I think, and 80% acrylic, or vice versa. Yes, 80% acrylic and 20% wool. So it's, but it's going to wash up really nicely. So this is, and if you haven't used this, it's actually discontinued. But if you are creative, you can kind of find this around. Mary Maxim had some, Hirschner's had some. You can find a couple skeins on Amazon, maybe eBay, Etsy, those kind of places. Otherwise, they're discontinued. Or maybe you can find them at Michael's and Joann's in clearance. Not sure, but I bought these on clearance maybe like 2 years ago. So It's a nice lightweight yarn, really pretty, and I'm a huge fan of Lion Brand. So what I'm going to do, I looked at the past year's temperatures, and the lowest that we get is somewhere between like 45 and 51 degrees. So for those areas, I'm going to use this one. It's called Bedazzled. So it's going to be more of kind of like my autumn wintry colors. Okay. Then I'm going to transition into this one, which is Forever Young. And this is going to go from, so basically the Bedazzled is going to go between temperatures of 45 up to 57. But because it's variegated, it's not going to be the same color. So I think that's going to be actually okay. Then when we get into the temperatures that go from 58 to 69 degrees, I'm going to be using this one, which is called Forever Young. So it's a little bit lighter, but still kind of carrying over those colors. I thought that was a good transition over. Once we start getting into the 70 up to the 81 degrees, actually maybe even 87, because I wanted to bring in some blues and greens, I'm going to move into Meadow, which is this one here. So we're going to go from here to there, if that makes sense, like that. Okay. And then for my summer colors, when it goes 94 to like 95 and above, actually, I'm sorry, 88 to 95 and above, I'm going to go with Strawberry Shortcake. Really tying in a lot of those like summer colors, popsicles, you know, think sundaes, beach days, popsicles, frozen lemonades, that kind of thing. That's how I thought about it when I put these colors together. So hopefully that's going to work. I like the colors. I like the transitions together. I think they're going to be really pretty together. So you'll see that as it comes through. And then to break up the months, Tony recommends using a solid color. So I'm just going to use this white that I got from Hobby, which is also a weight of 3. And that'll break up the months. And you do them in panels. So I'm going to start on that this week. And then in a couple weeks, I will bring you my progress sheet. And then what I did was, I also did something over here. So, so there's in different panels, as I mentioned. Panel 1 is going to be January 1st through March 14th. Panel 2 is going to be March 15th through May 26th. Panel 3 is going to be May 27th through August 7th. And then we go into panel 4, which is August 8th through October 19th. And then panel 5 is going to be October 20th through December 31st. So it's going to be 5 different panels. And then with Tunisian, it rolls a lot. I've heard it even described as looking like a big burrito. It likes to roll. So you definitely have to steam or wet block these before you get going. And then you just sew the different panels together. The pattern is a chain of 54 across, and then you do the Tunisian across. And when I'm all done, I even put my little colors down here, and then you just weave in the ends. What I did, I'm going to AccuWeather, and I've done a spreadsheet. So I have the months here, and I have 31 days out here. And so far, I have for January, because I've written all the dates, and I'm just going with the high of that day. So I put it in here in these blocks. And that way, if I kind of fall to the wayside with this project and I need to catch up, all I need to do is go to AccuWeather and then find those dates, because it gives it to you for a year long, and then just fill them in. And then I can, hopefully I won't. The idea is that you don't lose track of time and you do stay on top of it. But in case I don't, because life happens, then that's how I'm going to do it. So I'm excited. I'm really, really excited about this. I'm using the Lion Brand Wool Ease to do the Tunisian crochet. I'm going to be working and following Tony Lipsy with TL Yarn Crafts. I also have this book, which looked really, really interesting, called the Tunisian Workshop. So I'm going to be following along with this as well. And the man cub, aka my son, has just landed his very first apartment with his very first adult job up in LA, and he's really excited. So I was going to make him, I was flipping through this book, and he was like, Mom, I need that. So, because you know, what is old is now new. He liked this wall hanging, because the apartment, you know, it's kind of retro 50s, and that's the whole cool mid-century modern is a big thing right now. So I might end up making something like that for him to hang on his wall. I might even do some macrame. So I'm going to be kind of coming back in with those things as well. So I'm excited. Please comment below if you are a Tunisian crocheter, if you've done this before. I love Tunisian because I always like to try different things and new things, and it looks very, very similar to knitting. Very similar. So I'm really excited to see how this works up, and it's going to be just a really nice dense fiber. It's going to be light, but there's not going to be a lot of holes in the stitches, so it's going to be just a nice, dense, modern looking blanket. So I am excited about it. So please comment below if you've done Tunisian or if you've done a temperature blanket. If you have any ideas, suggestions, comments, things that worked for you, things that didn't work for you, I'm interested. Let me know and we will talk and share. Okay, that's it for this week's WIP Wednesday. Thanks so much always for watching. Please comment, and I always try to respond with comments and things as well. So I look forward to working with you very soon. Take care. See you next week.